And we are live.
Yes.
As Deb is saying, leave me alone.
Did you hear? He's so funny. He wanted to check out our outfits.
So, yep, so YouTube caught up. We're actually live on YouTube. Hello, everyone. Welcome to our live stream tonight.
Hello.
So, John Aside, one of our mods here as always. Thank you, John Aside. And we also have Nydia. Thank you so much for being here. And if you notice, there's 3 of us tonight. Our third part is here. We dressed up for the occasion.
Well, I had to do some self-healing, which I think we might touch base on tonight, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Ma'am.
It's all about self-healing.
So,
well, this is Kerri. Kerri, say hi to everybody. Introduce yourself.
Hi, everyone.
Let them know a little bit about who you are and what you've been doing.
I am Kerri Lynn. I am a priestess in the Cabot tradition, which means I have completed Witchcraft 1 and Witchcraft 2 under Reverend Lori Cabot, who we kindly refer to as Reverend Mother. So I've been studying for a little over 2 years in the Cabot tradition, and I am a priestess, and I attend our rituals for each one of our Sabbats on a regular basis in Salem. So I travel from my home state of Connecticut down by the casinos up to Salem at least 6 to 8 weeks, every 6 to 8 weeks for Sabbat. I am an intuitive healer for others, and have recently been focusing kind of on my own self-healing because I've been through a lot. And every now and then, I love how Deb and I we're like onions, and onions have many, many, many layers.
Yeah. Oh my God, Kerri, I was thinking about that the other day when we were talking about that. And I actually started thinking about once we get to the core of that onion, right? There's a seed.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then that seed, right? You plant that seed again. And what happens? You start to build up those walls again, right? And create a new onion. And then you have to peel back those layers again.
Yeah.
Because with everything that we learn, we shed a bunch of ourselves, but we also plant that new piece of ourselves, right?
Mm-hmm. And we all know onions make us
cry. With that, right. And with that, different fears start to shine, and we start to protect ourselves again. And we build those walls, and we create those onion layers again.
We create the layers and layer, and then we have to
so it's
back.
Exactly. Yep. The cycle.
Yep.
So we're just so happy that Kerri's here with us tonight. We knew that she would join us when she could, but we're just excited. It just brings a great dynamic to see how the 3 of us work together. As you notice, we're already kind of off our rockers with our costumes. Even though Kerri's was serious, I'm like, I need something. So
Kerri, you know what?
I chop my onions all the time too. It's only when I'm talking about healing where I'm talking about removing the layer and layer. Sometimes it's easier just to chop it and get to the core and then be done with it.
Right.
I don't like how onions taste, just saying. But anyways, but it is the perfect analogy, and I know that Deb has worked that with me. I feel like I got another onion I'm going through right now, as a matter of fact. Yeah. And like Deb always said, we're never done, right? Sorry.
Jill,
can I raise my...
Jill, speak then, Deb.
I have the talking stick.
I'm so sorry.
I have my talking stick.
I have this card.
What I was going to say is, I know one of the things that we were talking about earlier. Look, I'm just playing with me. Put that down. Now I've got playing with my crystals. We were talking about self-care, and we wanted to touch base on it. And I know that was one of the things that Kerri's been really working on. And you had mentioned you had a session.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about the healing session that you experienced the other day.
So I had the honor and privilege to sit with actually one of my Cabot brothers who lives in Salem, Alan Reposh, who is starting his personal healing business, which he's basing out of his home in Salem. And he has had the amazing opportunities to sit under many different healers, from shamanic experiences to so many different modalities. And he actually had learned the rite and passage of cacao, including the whole Mayan mythology around it, and the incorporation of the entire experience. So though anybody who isn't familiar with cacao is the plant that chocolate is formed from. Real chocolate, not Hershey's milk chocolate.
Ding, ding, ding. I'm already sold.
Did you know that it's like a plant? When
It
I was
is
in
a
Costa
plant.
Rica,
And
it's amazing.
So in the Mayan cultures were very war driven and focused on taking over the next territory. So anytime the Mayans needed to prepare or come together, they created this ritual, and it had to do around the cacao plant, and it had to do with coming together. And what happens is with cacao is actually a heart center plant. It's a gift from Mother Earth. Actually, when cacao grows, it traditionally grows up as a long and tall stalk. And then the fruit itself is actually representative of bosoms. And then back when you could actually grow vanilla without the supports that we need to now, there used to be actually a bee that had a very specific type of nose that could pollinate the vanilla. That is now having to be done artificially because that bee has passed on and it's become extinct. So in the Mayan culture, actually what was known was wherever cacao was grown, the vanilla would grow alongside the cacao. So cacao is actually translated, Latin name actually translates to food of the god. And it is very representative of the goddess and has a feminine energy. Vanilla is actually associated with the god and the gods and has a masculine energy. And they would grow symbiotically in the fields and be harvested together. And the Mayans had this whole ritual around taking the raw cacao, taking the vanilla, taking the natural herbs, taking different things like including mushrooms and different things that came from the ground and came from Mother Earth to create a drink that they called cacao. And they would sit and they would take part in it together, opening up their heart centers, being filled with joy, coming together in a connected way to share experiences. It also helped the Mayans continue to populate their civilization. But it was the fact that out of everything that's brought into the mixture is very harmonious, and it's very much bringing the all together and bringing everything, feminine, masculine, just bring everything into one. And then speaking words of gratitude into it and speaking, your healing into it.
Pure intention.
Yeah, your pure intentions. Because you speak shit into it, you're going to get shit back. Just like if you speak shit into water, it's going to come back at you with shit. And the water's going to actually start to look funky if you're really like putting that negative stuff into it. But if you're talking purity and you're talking true intentions into water, it will actually remain very crystal clear, and it will take in that energy and that harmonious energies. So by doing that and speaking into your cup before each sip, you're speaking the intention into the cacao and then bringing it into yourself. And so I was able to enjoy this opportunity to participate in this ritual, which was beautiful. Share this opportunity, opening our heart centers, opening up some of, our vulnerabilities. And then we went into some of my astrological birth chart. Ooh. And brought forward the fact that I have 7 in my 7th house. I have a Jill, what's that called? It begins with an S.
So you have stellium. So you have
stellium.
I have stellium. They're all conjunct. So can I just ask you a question, Kerri? What kind of astrology was it that the person used? Because there's so many there's tropical. Do you remember the type of astrology chart they pulled? If you don't, it's no big deal.
Guess what I have with me in my little setup here?
Because I have your chart too.
He utilized AstroDentist.
Yeah. It usually says it at the top.
So he used my name, my date of birth, where I was born, the location of where I was born and the time. Natal chart, AstroDentist Placidus.
Okay, so it's just a regular chart then, because there's you can do it where it's whole houses, and there's a different few other ways, but that sounds just like the regular, straightforward what everyone pulls. Okay, I was just curious because I have your chart too.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah, he said that was the largest stellium he'd ever seen. He has one that's 4, and mine is 7 in my 7th house. Which tends to be all about relationships. My 7th house is Libra, which is also where one of my poles, my polarity was also in Libra, and my other polarity was Aries. I said, I'm a Libra, and my man's an Aries.
Okay.
So there was so many different layers of that, pulling up the information, going into depth about what each
what was your personal takeaway from it? What
So my personal takeaway was holy shit, now I understand why a lot of things happen the way they do.
Yep. Right now, baby.
I came into a level of understanding that is helping me to move forward. I now have information and in-depth information. And now with that information, I can actually make choices, and I can make informed choices. I can use the information that I've been given to be cognizant and be aware of how different things can impact and reflect upon my energy. And that there is definitely there's definitely some lessons that I've learned, and then there's some definite lessons that I need to learn.
Absolutely. Don't we all?
So
we all come here for a reason.
It gives me an opportunity. There was confirmation. One of the things that I've been told and I've kind of known about myself is that I'm what they consider a starseed. In doing past life regressions and going through different layers of who I am as a being, not just in this plane that we're currently on, but being able to kind of look back and get glimpses of different parts of my being and my soul and where I've been and where I'm going. It's been confirmed several times that I'm a star seed, meaning I've been around for a very long time, and my soul's been around for a very long time. It's been through a lot of lessons. Coming out of the Aries, going into the Libra part, talked more about the fact that it actually connected back to actually when Deb was teaching Jill and I, one of the past life memories that came forward was a time when I was a warrior princess. I was an Indian warrior princess.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually made a sacrifice of myself to save my people, and how that part of my soul was still being impacted, and the trauma that I experienced in that moment was still impacting me and kind of heating me in this frame. And I went through many layers in that healing and that journey, where now I have an alchemy closet cabinet that I couldn't have before, because I was not going to touch anything herbs. I wasn't going to do any of that. I couldn't grow my hair long and wear it long and flowy, because it was the memory of that Indian princess vibe. So since that healing took place, I've embraced alchemy. I've embraced herbalism. I've allowed my hair to grow even longer and be able to flow, wear it certain ways that I wasn't able physically, emotionally. So it was, the healing experience that I had this weekend came through again, because one of the things he said was, you were a warrior who made a sacrifice. Well, yeah.
Well, weren't we all burnt on the stake at one time? I think we all have that. I remember those past life regressions. I was a medicine man in one of mine.
Hi, Michelle. Hi, Mary. Glad you can listen to me talk tonight.
Kerri, sounds amazing. And he's local to me.
You might have to check him out.
The name, I don't, Centurion?
No pressure. You can tell me later.
Yeah. He actually has a name for his practice that he's going with. Hi, Marianne. He and the center. I will get it.
You can look it up and put it in the chat. Yeah. So everybody can see it afterwards.
I love that they worked in astrology. So a lot of people know, like, I had started to dive into astrology, but then had to kind of take a break from it and stuff. But I will say, your natal chart reveals so much. When I did my first class, I'm analyzing my own chart, right? There were so many things in my chart that made sense to me, on how I think, how I react, why this happened and stuff. It's amazing what your birth chart holds. And you could spend weeks, months analyzing just your birth chart, never mind what transits are going on, right?
Yeah, I find astrology overwhelming. I've tried a couple times to dive into that to understand it a little bit more. And
well, I mean, that's what's so amazing about community, and that's why there's community, and that's why each one of us like really kind of specializes and hones in on one or two, maybe three modalities, individually, because we can come together as a community where all of the different gifts can come together in a unified way. I loved what Alan was talking about too. He's like, we all have different words for what we call source, the all, God.
Absolutely. Got it.
And it's personal. That's what you are, each person's drawn to or
resonates in their soul.
Mm-hmm. But there's no wrong answer.
There isn't. There really isn't. But it's the everything. It's the everything. One of the things that we did a meditation where, it was just, it kind of, we went back before the Big Bang. So we counted down, we got to 0, shrunk down. Then, and even though the 0 shrunk, everything was still inside that, 0. And the 0 was perfectly round, but it was still, it contained everything. Everything and nothing at all was in that moment. And everything and nothing at all is in each moment. Thousands and thousands and millions and billions of atoms and molecules and souls and dust and particles and carbon, just, and it's all about the energy. So
I always say this universe is much bigger than a lot of people will never know. Like, the universe is too big, broad, and wide for us to ever know. We are just one little planet amongst many, many, many here living a soul living a human life, right? I hear that term a lot. Like, we're just
we
soul living, having
because we can only comprehend what we can comprehend.
Yeah, and
right?
there's so much out there beyond our comprehension.
So when it comes to astrology, I have learned, if I wanted to look at a chart, I use my intuition, but I find, like, if you really want to say a quick way to just learn about yourself, the planets to look at is where your Saturn placement is. Saturn is huge, the 7-year itch. Saturn cycles 7 years. So during your returns, like in your late 20s and your early 40s, big events most likely happen, good or bad. They don't always have to be bad, but there's usually a big life lesson during that time period. And also Chiron, which not all astrologers look at. I am always drawn to it because that's our wound. That is the Chiron's the wounded warrior. That's the wound that we were born with in this lifetime that we came to heal. So those are kind of my, places I'll focus first. And, where your sun is where you illuminate. Yeah. Then it goes on and on and on. But if you ever really, to take it down easy, find out where your Saturn is and look at where Chiron is. It will reveal a lot about you and things that happened in your life. Will make sense. If that makes sense to anybody.
And my Chiron was in Taurus.
Yes. Well, Chiron's based on, so that's all based on the year you were born, because it's not a planet. It doesn't it doesn't rotate like everything else done. So it's all based on the year and time you were born. So everyone my age, we all came in here with the same wound. It could be in a different
Chiron
house.
is going to be the name of this business, by the way.
What's it going to be the name? I love.
What's it
going to be the name of?
Chiron.
Oh, the name of your friend's business?
Chiron.
Yeah, that's Chiron. That's your wounded warrior. That's your wound that you came into this lifetime with. The wounded warrior.
That's a really cool name.
Yep.
For it, yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So, how's everybody doing out there?
Sorry,
I feel like, I feel like we need to say hi to everybody. Who's here? Michelle, Angela, Jonaside, Marianne, Mary, and hi guys,
Jessica.
Welcome.
Jessica.
Does anybody have any questions about astrology for Jill, or any questions for Kerri?
Bring them on. This is my first one. Make it real.
Don't worry. We usually do card pulls like towards the end. That's when we open it up for people to put in the chat if they want a card or not. So just as a reminder, we have not forgotten about the free reading we're going to give away. I was actually today getting the list of names together. So hopefully in the next week or two, we'll finally pull a name to get a free reading. We're just kind of, I think for all three of us, these last 2 weeks have been really heavy with different reasons, different things going on in our lives, I know for myself, that's why you didn't see any extra content with even a card of the day, working on other stuff. So hopefully this energy is now moving out to allow some lighter stuff to come in, and we'll get our acts together a little bit better.
Angela loves our hats. She actually put on her own hat to watch us. I love that.
Oh, I love that. I'm gonna try to get this tiara to stay back on my head just because you commented that. It keeps falling out. The combs won't stick in my head.
Yeah, so we were talking, for those that are just joining now, that we were talking about self-healing, about taking time for ourselves. Kerri was introducing herself, and it's funny because I've been sitting here, you know, listening and shuffling cards and pulling things, and I'm just going to go ahead and tell you guys all what I pulled. My healing already in process, right? The other card is I'm not limited by any past thinking. I choose my thoughts with care. Cacao, right? I constantly have new insights and new ways of looking at my world. I am willing to change and grow. There's that one.
Wow.
Beautiful.
And then my goddess deck, Frisia, the goddess of discernment. I spend my time wisely. I only say yes when it is a holy hell yes.
Love it.
Hell yeah,
Right?
baby.
Yes.
And I have to say, this has like been one of the things that I've worked on, you know, my whole life, is pretty much, if it doesn't feel in my body like a full 100% yes, then I know that I'm supposed to say no, because not all of me is with it. Do I ignore it? Almost 99.9% of the time. I'm human. It happens. And I try to like really listen to that. But there's so many parts of us, and I think we've kind of touched base on that. You know, there's so many parts of us that are, you know, or your astrology, your different houses, your different past, present pieces, your inner childs, your future selves. There's so many things that are talking to us that we, you know, at certain points in our life, we start to, it's a security, right? We know what to expect. And when we step out of that box and go towards the things that we're not quite sure of, we tend to question those and fall back on the things that we are sure of. Even if that's a hell no, what the heck are you doing, right? Instead of going with the hell yeah, this is the way we're supposed to go. Because it's scary. We don't know what the heck to expect there.
If it scares the shit out of you, you need to lean into that even more. That's what I've learned. If it scares me, that's exactly what I'm supposed to be doing. So Sharon actually does have a question, Sharon Miller, about resources, about learning about her chart. So there are there's so many classes you can take. There are some good books. Just so you know, there's so much to digest in astrology, and it can be really overwhelming. I did a class where I felt like I learned a lot, but when it came to doing other people's chart, I felt like I really was not prepared. There is a couple books.
Practice.
It's just the thing with astrology is do not read your horoscope that you see in a magazine. That is not going to help you.
Come on, Dear Abby had the best advice.
No, that was advice. That wasn't horoscopes. That's different. Dear Abby had very sound advice. Okay. But
can we become Dear Abby too?
Right?
So, Sharon, the first thing you need to know before you can even dive into your chart is you need to know the exact time, day, night that you were born, the date, and the city and town. Because trust me, if you get the time wrong, everything shifts. So if you have that information,
there's free charts too, aren't there, Jill? Online?
That's just it. But you can't do anything. So she has that. So if you go to astro.com. Literally, that is the website that I think everybody uses because you can get free charts. And I think I have 20 charts saved there. And you can pull up your natal chart. There is a book I'm going to quickly grab that I highly recommend. Ooh. It is called The One and Only Astrology Book You'll Ever Need. This is a great resource. I'm telling you, it's a great resource in the sense of the explanations are clear and concise for each house, for each planet. There's a lot of pieces of that puzzle to put together, but that book I would recommend for someone who just is starting to learn, dabble, and also feel free to reach out to us. Like, I'm not an expert in astrology, but I can pick out certain parts and help you in a direction. So I hope that helps. There's I'll warn you.
Hi, Tammy.
If you look for astrology books, there's a million of them. But some of them I have, but they're too much. If that makes sense? Like too much. I'm like, too much information now, nothing makes sense. This book that I just showed is actually really good. So that's my spiel about astrology.
Yeah, Sharp Lisa. I found a book years ago by Joanna Martine, Woolfolk. I don't know if she is a top notch or not, but I have learned a lot. Yeah, always.
Yeah, it's all that matters.
If something that resonates with you, definitely grab it.
Hi, Tammy.
Hi, Tammy.
Ooh, I know that ringtone. So I'm putting the name of the book in the chat, and I put the website in the chat.
Is that your phone, Kerri?
Oops. Oops.
And this I got, I think, at Barnes and Noble.
The book is called The Only Astrology Book You'll Ever Need. Is that
Yes.
That's the same book, Jill, right?
Yeah,
who's the author of that one?
Have. Yep, that's the one I have. That's the book I just recommended for anyone that is new. And then, like, there's
is that the same author?
Yep, it's the same author. That's a great resource.
Yeah, Sharon put it in her. I know. I want to hop on and put it in my Amazon cart too.
And I think so. I got mine at Barnes and Noble's. Funny enough, on sale. It was on one of their sale.
Oh,
shelves.
I love that.
Oh my God, I get lost in Barnes and Noble, especially in the sales section.
Yeah.
Like, I could be lost for an hour.
We don't have one around here. I used to love it when I lived in Massachusetts, and I would go to the one in Peabody and just like sit there all day. It was very meditative, and I would always leave with like 10 books.
Oh,
hence my bookshelves in the other room. You can't see them here.
I'm a little disappointed. I'll be honest. I went to Barnes and Noble's a couple of weeks ago because I had a gift card that I was like, hey, I want to go in my happy place, right? And go. And they really had cut down on the amount of metaphysical books and stuff that they, compared to what they used to have. Because I would spend an hour in that one
thing.
Oh, the Book Depot.
They definitely.
That's in Connecticut, right? The Book Depot. I remember that place too.
Oh yeah, I
have a couple.
I actually do have a couple books that I got at a used. We have a place where I live called Dogtown Books, and it's like, if you love books, when you walk in, it has that old musty library smell. If you love old books,
that.
And yeah, I actually got a couple. I got a tarot book there and another one, but it's like shelves and shelves. Like, you really gotta. You gotta dedicate. It's like going to Marshall's. You gotta dedicate to look.
So I can't dedicate myself to going to Marshall's, but I could dedicate going to a bookstore like that. That's just not my thing.
No, I just
Barnes and Noble was a little from Canada.
Ooh.
Mm.
So Lisa, what's up with Canada? You're not gonna so yeah, like Amazon, this book is on Amazon, and you could even order it online on Barnes and Nobles, but I think you'll get a better price through Amazon. There's also another book
I think Lisa was talking about, that's her
she has a Book Depot
discounted book place. I think that's where she goes.
There is another book that I would recommend. If I can grab it, because I too have a bookshelf packed with books. The other one is called The Inner Sky by Stephen Forrest. This is the other book I would recommend for astrology.
Well, hold it up so we can see it.
I was typing it in the chat so people could see the name too. This one was recommended to me by a teacher of astrology and students that were in the class that had read this book.
Excellent. Yeah, just take pictures of them and send them to me.
I will, Deborah.
Hopefully I'll have more time that I can start reading again.
Oh, Sharpie, so you're funny.
So just so, because Kerri, this is the first time you get to meet some of our community. These are a lot of the people in our chat tonight are from my friend Corey's channel. They're my bridge buddies that followed me over here. They saw me on Corey's channel when I got my own. They helped us to get to the 100 subscribers we needed. So all of them, we love them. And Jessica's candle lady that gifted me the beautiful candle that I showed off last week. So we're very grateful to our bridge buddies.
Yay!
Yes, we are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
You know, if it wasn't for them, I don't think we'd have anybody showing up to our show.
except for my son Cameron. So Kerri, you missed it. Cameron also crashed one night. He came down to steal the spotlight.
Aww, my Cam.
Mm-hmm.
I love my Cam.
Yeah,
he got a reading too.
He did. That was so spot on.
He asked for a reading. Yeah.
And
hi, Sandra.
And Jonaside and Michelle Embry are two friends of mine from the other areas of YouTube that I've hung out. I've been on Michelle's channel a few times. I have her book, The Daydream Tarot, and Jonaside.
Jonaside prompted you, and
Jonaside
what about me?
is the nicest guy on YouTube with the best hair, even though he already admitted Deb comes in a close second when it comes to having the best hair on YouTube.
Woo! I watched it today.
Well,
I typically don't watch it.
We would never even be able to tell.
Yeah, I watched it. It smells good today.
I didn't wash my hair today. I'll be honest. That's why it's in a ponytail. Yeah, we got no filter. Sorry. That's kind of sorry, Jonathan. Yes, you do have the best hair, my friend John. You do. One of these days we'll have to get you on camera so you can give us a flip.
Please, yes.
Yes. So anything else about self-care? I think that's a big theme. I did see some comments where people were saying they had low energy and kind of feeling sluggish. And I think all of us.
What is your favorite, Jill? What is your favorite thing to do for self-care? I actually had a session last week, but I'll talk about that after you tell us what your favorite self-care is.
So my favorite self-care, honestly, it's not retail therapy in the sense I got to spend $1 million, but going into Barnes and Nobles to my happy places. So that's one. And I've been seeing Rosa once a month for my in-person Reiki treatments. That has been amazing. That just, especially I think the last, I've been seeing her now.
Give Rosa a plug. Give Rosa a big plug.
Rosa, and funny enough, I did actually talk to her about coming on one night too. She's a Reiki master who I did my first round of master classes with Deb, but I've been doing healing sessions with her that have been amazing. That, especially the last one, for the first time, my brain shut off, and I can't remember the last time that had happened. I always feel great after I leave her, and that's I have to.
And she's in Danvers. Where's her business?
Her space is in Danvers. She has a Facebook page. It's Angel Messages by Rosa, I think. That's how you can
Renee.
Hi, Mrs. Jonaside.
Hi, Renee.
So I will, after the live stream, I will put a link under the in the comments to her page.
Excellent.
For Rosa, because she is and actually
she does. I think she does distant healing too.
She does distant and she does classes. So I actually got my level 2 Reiki certification not last week and the weekend before. So she does the Reiki classes, and she also does like introductory tarot classes now too. It's amazing to see how much she's grown since I first met her, right? You know,
Tons, yeah.
She's
And
really
we'll have her come on the show too. You guys will love Rosa.
yeah. Rose is a sweetheart.
She's a fabulous healer.
She is fabulous, and she's Italian like me.
But she's taller than you.
Barely. A little bit. Kerri's taller than me. So the first time I ever got to, so just so everyone knows too, we don't all live in the same state. And when we were doing classes, we all live different places. So the first time I met Kerri in person, after I saw her, I went, "Oh, asshole, you're taller than me."
That was after she hugged me. And
after I hugged her, I'm
like,
oh, you're an asshole, you're taller than me. By like a few good inches too.
And I'm short.
All three of us are short.
Well, Deb only gets a little bit extra because of her curls.
My hair, that's right.
Oh,
yeah, so
last week, Nobles. Good. So everyone in the chat, write what your happy place is. What do you do to relax? And I don't know, Deb, if you want to share.
I'm curious what everybody does for like their self-care. It varies for me, honestly.
Oh, thank you.
But it's definitely something that I have neglected.
What? Remember to hit the thumbs up. Thank you, Nydia, for that reminder. Hit our thumbs up if you like this video to help us in the algorithm. Sorry, got to do our plug.
Yes. But one of the things that I have really neglected is touch. It's been a long time since, and I was a practicing massage therapist, energy healer. So I always had my hands on people. But for the last couple of years, where I've moved in North Carolina, I'm pretty isolated. And there's not many modalities here to receive unless I can spend a few hours and drive, somewhere worth going. But a friend of mine, she has a nice little shop that's probably about 20 minutes from me. And she is into essential oils, and she has a harmonic egg, which I have been in her harmonic egg. Yes. I actually kind of went out of protocol with it and did a healing inside one of the eggs when Miss Jilly Beans was sick. And that was a really interesting experience. And I really believe that was one of the turning points to your healing.
100%.
It was really powerful. So she has that, and she also, because she works with the oils, we did a bioscan. So I had that done to kind of figure out what's going on with my body that we need to figure out. Because intuitively I can't tap into and pinpoint it. So I needed a little help with that. So we came up with a bunch of different oils from the bioscan that would, help movement. And she massaged all the oils into my back and on my feet. And it was just so, I'm not sure if it was the touch, the oils, the combination of everything, and that she's a friend. So that energy and that connection of love was there. But it was something that I realized that I've been missing. And I am craving it. Like, I'm ready to go back there Friday or Saturday for another session.
It sounds like
one of those things that I really need for my self-care, to kind of get especially with the feet being touched, helping me ground myself, and loosening up all that tension that we hold in our shoulders and our back and our neck. And it's just like, melt me, right? So that's what I'm really enjoying for my self-care lately. Hi, Miska.
And that's,
we'll
I think, the biggest thing is putting ourselves first. Like, for me, my house used to be my happy, like my space down here was my happy space down here. Like, I love to be down here with my books. But now I'm finding I actually need to leave this house because I was in this house for
Yes.
so long. That has been huge for me. And I didn't even really know that until I started to leave. But that for my self-care is getting out of this house now is a big piece, where before staying home was actually more self-care, but now it's I need to physically leave this space
Mm-hmm.
to get my self-care.
Yeah. So we have SG like sitting in her backyard watching birds and squirrels, occasionally fall out of trees. Hopefully you're not falling out of trees. It's just squirrels. Also taking nap makes me pretty happy. I love that. Ooh, Jonathan says candles,
There was also I saw
gardening, yeah, cats, meditation, time with my dogs. You guys are all
baths.
on my page. I have
Yep, knitting,
dogs, my
pedicure.
garden. I actually have a field of vegetables and flowers and herbs. Yeah, love
And
it.
it sounds like being in nature for most people, like looking at birds, looking at just being outside.
Mary lives in the mountains.
Mm.
Love it. The Baltimore Oreos arrived a few days before the Hummers.
Ooh.
Excellent. But I had a few hummingbirds a few weeks ago, but I haven't seen any lately. But then again, my outside time varies frequently, so I could
My
just be missing them.
hummingbirds have not come back yet because their feeders are not out yet. But usually once the feeders are out there, they come back, and we actually caught one stayed long enough for us to video. It was amazing to see
Nice.
the
Now, do you make
vibrant
your own
colors.
sugar water?
Yeah. And the
Good.
first year there was a different thing that was used, which was not successful, but it's just sugar water. And because I guess hummingbirds, like if they find a place, they remember and they come back. So they've
They
come back
do.
the last couple of years. And I actually saw my first butterfly outside, I think last week. And that's early to see like the real big butterflies.
Yeah. So it looks like it's 8:47. We have about 10 more minutes left of this wonderful YouTube video live show. Should we pull some cards for people?
Yeah, let's do it.
Especially for those let's try and get some people that we haven't read. And I think Kerri should go first.
So why don't, if you had a reading last week, or you didn't get a reading last week and had wanted one, type in the chat that you would like a reading, because we'd like to Deb's point, like do a few people that we haven't had a chance to yet. We'll give them the first option, and if not, then whoever's next. I'll keep an eye out. Ooh, planted many native plants. Mary. Oh, so Nydia would like a card. So Nydia for Kerri.
So
I love that you've planted native plants to attract pollinators. That's what I love doing too. Bring them all.
I got a black thumb. I don't plant stuff.
So Nydia, as you said that, I was shuffling. I just started shuffling. So the card that came through was light. And in this card, there is a woman. There are 3 cats, familiars. The number 3 is very, very, very present in this card. There's also 3 candles that are kind of hanging in the middle of the moon. The moon appears to be in its almost full state. And the keyword on that card is light. So, kind of what's coming to mind right now is that, there's a representation of light, of 3, of the power of 3, of things being revealed, things coming to light for you, Nydia. That there's also shadows that are being casted by the light that's there. So there may be some answers that are forming and are still kind of buried in the shadows for you at the moment, but ultimately the light is coming, and with the light being cast, the answers will be found. And if I remember correctly, you might have been one of the ones that said animals and cats and as part of your self-care. So really kind of push into your self-care this time as well. Really embrace that. Spend some time. If you do any kind of animal communication, or you've ever felt drawn to animal communication, to now might be the time to really kind of push into that as well.
Excellent. Thank you, Kerri.
So next up is Sharon Miller.
Has Sharon got one in the last couple of weeks?
I know I did one. I think I did one for her on Corey's, but I don't think I did one for her here. We actually had 3 people that put in they wanted a card. So it's Sharon and then Mary next.
All right.
So
I'm feeling drawn to Mary. Do you want to do Sharon?
I can do Sharon. Or Kerri, unless you feel like doing Sharon.
Well, Goddess jumped.
Well, Sharon got Kerri.
Do me last if time. Well, actually, Sharon, I'm sorry, but this one was I already had your name and intention on my heart and my breath when I was shuffling. I'm still trying to figure out exactly how to hold them so you guys can
front
see
of your
them.
face according to Deb.
So
that looks good.
So Sharon, this is for you. This is a Goddess card. In this card, there's 2. And what I'm seeing in this card for you is that connection between you and a very close person, and the coming together of you with them will embrace and enlighten your goddess mentality. Step into and embrace your goddess. Do not shy away from your goddess. You are a goddess, and you need to fully, fully, fully embrace that part of you. Know that you are beautiful. Know that you are an amazing person, and that it is time for you to truly step into your goddess mentality.
And so it is.
And yes, it shall be then, Sharon.
So if Deb is going to pull Mary's, I can do the collective card to close out the stream. How does that sound?
Okay, perfect. So Mary, I pulled this card here, Catherine Labor. I probably said that wrong. The patroness of miraculous healing. I am ready to heal. I am worthy of miracles meant for me. The other card was this fun little one. I am willing to change. I am willing to release old negative beliefs. They are only thoughts that stand in my way. My new thoughts are positive and fulfilling. So basically there's a theme going on here, right? So what I'm feeling is like you're in a position, right, where you're ready. And I feel like collectively that, you know, our whole theme tonight was about healing, how to do self-healing. But I think that's the energy that's up for us, especially after this crazy retrograde that we had. Mm-hmm. So just know that you are really worthy. And I want to end it there. Like, just know that you are worthy, that you are worthy of everything, not some things, everything. Okay, so we have to change and shift those beliefs to know that, to understand, right? To connect with that energy, that you are worthy of all things. You are not bad. You are not evil. You know, things are not good or bad. Those are human perceptions, right? In the realms beyond, the gods, the goddesses, whatever it is, we are perfect. We are born perfect, right? Mm-hmm. Belief systems come into play that shift that, and we start to doubt ourselves. We to start to doubt our worthiness. But please know that you are fully worthy. You are in a great place where you're ready to do the healing, right? And it's funny because I feel like, I was just playing with this deck over here, and this card is like looking at me, and it's cannabis, right? Whether you smoke it or not, it doesn't matter. But that's the herb that is surrounding you, right? That is bringing some great healing for you to detach, okay, from those belief systems that do not serve you any longer. So maybe your mantra, maybe your affirmation, maybe you could start shifting that belief. But the thing with affirmation is you have to fully believe that affirmation as you're saying it. So catch yourself when you say, I am willing to change. If you hear bullshit, 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 the little bird pecking in your ear, ask yourself, who doesn't believe that I am ready to change? Who inside of me, right, does not think I'm worthy of this change? Like, just ask yourself those questions. And I know on a couple of the other shows, we've kind of dabbled into the who, the what, the where, the why inside of us. Those doubts are coming. So that's what I'm feeling for you tonight. And hopefully that resonates with you and makes sense, Mary.
So this was fantastic tonight. And I think this is a conversation we'll probably continue again because there's so much with self-care, right? But as always, everyone, thank you so much. Please remember to like, comment, share, have your notifications on, all the fun stuff that YouTube says we should do. So what I did I just pulled for the collective while Deb was doing the reading. And I went with my self-care deck because, like, that's our theme tonight. But I also pulled from my sacred circles. Whoops, something fell. And these are both by the same author. Her name is Jill. That is how I pick my card deck sometimes. It's about the author. So for
It's
self-care,
about you, Jill.
It's about me. Come on. We all know this. It's why I'm wearing a princess crown and not a witch's hat, right? I got the speaking stick. So the first card I got for our collective tonight is make a vision board. So how's that? Can you see it?
Yes, Jill. Good job.
See, I'm getting better thing because Deb directs me. But what do you want? So, like, when I hear vision board, I used to go, ugh, because I'm not creative. But a vision board can be anything that you want. If you want something, you have to be able to see it, right? So when it comes to your happiness and your self-care, if there's something you want, you need to put it, you need to plant the seed to grow, you have to put it somewhere. So if that's what the vision board is, either you write it down, you draw it, you tape stuff up, you cut things out of magazines. There's no wrong way to do it. But make a vision board and envision what you want. That will be the first step into making all your dreams come true. Self-care, like, what does self-care look like to you to make it so you are happier inside your own skin? What does that look like? Make a board, write it down. And the second card I pulled from my Sacred Cycles deck, who is also by Jill. And it's the waxing.
What was that? Sacred Psycho deck?
Sacred Cycles. I can't speak English.
Oh, cycles?
Cycles. Sacred Cycles. It's a tongue twister.
I thought it was a psycho deck. I was like,
it's
yeah, I need that one.
That makes sense though, right? I am, people know me. I'm free. I'm, batshit crazy, but that's what.
Well, women's cycles can make you psycho.
And just part of my charm, as I tell people all the time, my craziness is part of my charm. Why people love me. But this card is the waxing gibbous moon. This is all about stepping into our power. If you notice, she has her hands up and her, think of her stomach as like your solar plexus, your
it's the womb, yeah.
all those chakras that are down below that feed our creativity and who we are and our self-esteem. And they're just taking that energy and all the colors around her too. Like, it's like all the colors of our chakras, of our energies. She's taking it all from the universe. Has so much to give us, right? So she is just open to receive. So be open to receive the gifts that the universe wants to give us. That's the other thing. You can make your vision board, but you have to be then ready to receive the gifts the universe wants to give you. I hope that makes sense to everyone.
Heck yeah.
Hell yeah. So that is
all right. So we have a couple comments here. All right. Metal Twister. Yes, Metal Twister has received wonderful readings from Jill and myself. Thank you, Sharon. Metal Twister. Wow, Debra, I can relate to your reading. Awesome. Again, if you can piggyback on any of the readings that we gave to somebody else, please take it. Okay. Because it collectively, there's always something here for you. Mary says, thank you, Debra. I needed to hear this. No, I don't smoke it, but I smell it without being with anybody. Excellent.
Me too.
Right on.
My mom sends it to me as a sign.
Yeah. So if there's somebody in your love life that has passed and they used to smoke, then it's probably them just kind of giving you that. Or I'm also getting, Mary, that sometimes you may need to smell that just to bring yourself down. I feel like it's a soothing thing for you. I feel like, certain smells gives us that sense of release and calmness within ourselves. And that's kind of what I just picked up on. Sandra says, I just love how you all inspire us and let us know how special souls we have. Our souls are so beautiful. This is really nice.
Oh,
thank you, Sandra. Yeah, so that's really something important. And because these girls were my students and I ingrained it in them that when you do readings, it shouldn't be scary. It shouldn't be doom and gloom, right? It's about finding that light within ourselves so that we can heal, that we can share our beautiful gifts that we have, so that you can see the magic within yourself. So I'm glad that we're kind of relaying that and everybody can see that. So that's awesome.
So I just have to do a special call out. So Yoon is here with us tonight. She is a bridge buddy. Her name is Yoon. And so she's referencing pink feathers. In a reading I did for her on Corey's channel, it was all about pink feathers. So Yoon on Corey's channel, so she is all the way in, I'm sorry if I say it wrong, you're in Malaysia, I believe. So it's early morning for Yoon. And on Corey's channel, she was the first person that figured out how to use like the PayPal tip jar. So every time they wait for Yoon to come to join and they ring a bell for her every time she comes. And she has given great feedback on the readings and the lives that I've done with her. So people will start doing bell icons. Yoon, I'm going to have to get a bell from Corey for you. I promise.
Hold on.
Oh, Deb, I might have a deck for everything. Deb's got a prop for everything. So
I got a couple bells, but they're in the other room.
I don't have bells, but I'm just so excited to see Yoon here. She is a lovely soul. I see her on Corey's channel a lot, so it was awesome to have her come.
Shout out to Mary Beth Bailey. Hey.
All right. So this was my grandmother's bell.
Ooh, that's a special. Aww.
And these are my bells.
Oh, look at that, Yoon. We got you 2 bells.
So that was such a great surprise. That's what I love about doing these. You never know who's going to come and be in the chat. That just like made put such a smile on my face to see you come here, just because, she, just without ever meeting her, just, going back and forth in emails, she just has a great energy and just a kind soul. Singapore. Sorry. I was kind of close. I'm horrible with stuff like that. So so you'll get a special shout out here too, carrying over from Corey's channel. We'll make sure Deb has her.
Hi, Yoon. We're so happy you were here.
Thank you for joining us, Yoon.
Hopefully you like the bells. You can tell me which one you like the best, and I can ring that next time you're here. So Mary says, my two brothers passed last year. So what? Okay, that makes sense. So, yeah, I'm sorry about your losses. Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
lot.
That's a lot.
Sending you lots of love and healing. We all of us here have experienced.
Ewan is
that.
living in Singapore.
Yes, I was wrong. I said Malaysia. I knew I was going to screw it up.
Well,
He
she corrected
especially
you.
likes his
She
food.
did.
Yeah.
So, again, another one in the books. I'm so proud of us. We have kept to our Tuesday nights. So,
Yeah.
we'll be
So
here
Metal
next
Twister
Tuesday.
gave us a nice compliment, Jill and
Oh,
Kerri. You three have and give wonderful energy. It is a healing just watching.
Oh, thank you so much, Metal
Aw.
Twister.
I love that. Thank you.
I know, Mary. I'm sure you miss them dearly. I'm so sorry. Hi,
I
Marby.
know, Mary. It's not easy.
So we will be here again next Tuesday. Please feel free to leave a comment of any topics you'd like us to talk about.
I think we should be here next Tuesday at 8 p.m. with our bells on.
I know. I'm going to have to go. Does this mean I have to go shopping? Oh, no. Twist my arm. I'm going to have to go find some more props. Everyone have a great week. Thank you so much. Much love to everyone. We'll see you on the next time, right?
Bye. Thank you.
Bye, guys.